Welcome back to Econ Line, everyone. This lesson is going to be on cross-price elasticity. Later lesson is going to be on income elasticity, and both of these are extensions of that price elasticity of demand concept that we've already looked at. So I want to begin with a quick review of price elasticity of demand, and then we're going to approach cross-price elasticity in the very similar format. So let's just take a look at what the price elasticity of demand is. It's a measure of what we call price sensitivity. Really what we're getting at is how do the buyers respond with the change in price. And if we wanted to get technical about it, we would say how does the quantity of the good change when the price of the good changes? And then we were curious about whether these relationships were strong or weak. We used formulas, and we did the math behind this, if you'll recall. The formula is the percentage change in the quantity of the good divided by the percentage change in the price of the good would give you the elasticity of demand for that good, the price elasticity of demand. And we had ways of interpreting it. Now, first of all, because there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity, right? As one goes up, the other goes down. All of our elasticity values are negative. Price elasticity values are negative. Some of the other ones we'll see today are not. So you should always get a negative number, right? And we tend to kind of ignore the negative number and just really look at the absolute value. But basically, if the elasticity was between 0 and 1, we call that an inelastic good. We say not quite 1. If it was exactly equal to 1, that was unit elastic. And if it was greater than 1, we called that an elastic good. And remember that the higher that number is, the more elastic the good is. So the more price sensitive the buyers were. So this is just basic formula here. Percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price. Now let's take a look at cross-price elasticity and what that's all about. So cross-price elasticity is a different topic altogether, and this is the main question that we want to get at with cross-price elasticity. Are two goods really complements or substitutes, and how do we know? So I can tell you that peanut butter and jelly are complements, and that lobster and hot dogs are substitutes. But how do we know that? How do we really know that's the case, other than kind of our experience and our anecdotal evidence and that sort of thing? We obviously can look at prices and quantities to see how that works. So if we follow the same logic as we looked at with price elasticity, here we want to know what happens to the quantity of one good when the price of another good changes. And then how strong or weak is the relationship between them. And that's what cross-price elasticity tells us. So cross-price elasticity is basically how sensitive the buyers are for a change in the price of another good. And that's what's going to give us some idea of whether or not the goods are complements or substitutes. Now that sounds a little bit vague right now. Hang on for just a second. Let's get more specific and it will become apparent. In front of you is the elasticity, like the price elasticity of demand formula. Percentage change in quantity divided by percentage change in price, just like we've talked about. For cross-price elasticity, the formula is very, very similar. But it's the percentage change in the quantity of good A divided by the percentage change in the price of good B. So when the price of this good changes, how do the buyers react? Now, one of the things that's incumbent in here that isn't always noticed is that, if the goods are complements, right, as we buy more of one, we buy more of the other. If they're substitutes, we buy more of one, we buy less of the other. Well, that's kind of represented here, right? Because we know that if the price of good B is going up, then that means that the quantity of good B being sold is probably going to go down, right? So if the price of something is going up, then the quantity usually goes down. Well, if you know what direction the quantity of a good is going, in terms of like the quantity demanded, then you have an idea of what the complement or the substitute is going to do. So if the price of a good goes up, the quantity of that good goes down. The quantity of the complements for that good sold should also go down. The quantity of substitutes for that good should sell, there should be a higher quantity in that case. They should sell more. So this is the basic formula. You look at the percentage change in the quantity of good A divided by the percentage change in price of some other good.